I walk through this life the same way I take a shower, in smoke wrapped in darkness. The most you'll find in my bathroom when I'm bathing is a candlelight at best. See, I don't trust none of this shit. I know it's all bullshit. And I know how easy it is to get fooled. I'll never forget listening to Sophia say that. Sophia Stewart, the woman who wrote The Matrix and The Terminator. And I was trying to apologize to her for what the world had done to her work to stop her messages. She said, they didn't do nothing to my work. She said, be sorry for what they've done to your minds. Because every day we believe the bullshit. Every day we believe the lies. And nobody wants to believe anybody that's telling the truth.
Hey, what is going on with y'all, man? It is Black Balloon, and I'm coming back with another video, so y'all already know what's going on. Alright, y'all. Now, as y'all can tell by the title of this video, today we are here to talk about The Matrix, The Terminator, and Sophia Stewart. Now, you probably already know where we are going with this video, as the topic has been floating around the internet. I mean, you could go back 5 years or so and, you know, there was people making videos about Sophia Stewart, whether or not she actually wrote and had the original copyrights of The Terminator and The Matrix. So, of course, I dug up a few clips. I got a clip that is maybe 5 to 8 years old where she's explaining it. And there's a recent interview that she did on a channel called Hype, where a lot of it just started coming back up. And, you know, she goes in about James Cameron. She goes in about the Wachowski brothers. As you all may know, I think she brought the script to the Wachowski brothers when they put out like an ad for new sci-fi movies. That moment back in that time is when her work was stolen, in a sense. So she explains it the best, even when you hear her talk about the Terminator and the Matrix and the stories actually being tied together. She just explains it better than anyone I've ever heard. And she's a very smart lady. And I thought this would be a very good video to go down this rabbit hole, because I know a lot of us really love the original Matrix movie and the original Terminator. They were amazing movies, especially to me, in my opinion. And especially the Matrix being something that, you know, we had never seen at that time, you know, at least in movies. And it created a rabbit hole for a lot of people to start going down themselves, you know, back in that time when the movie first came out. So I don't want to do too much talking in the intro, because I do want to just jump right into it. You know, a lot of people have their different opinions on if they believe she actually owns the original work. I myself, I do not doubt her story at all, because we already know how Hollywood works. You know, the people who are known to the public for creating the movies, at the end of the day, we just never know. And I've honestly never heard anyone explain what the movies mean the way she has. And it's just very hard to not believe that she isn't the original creator. So with that being said, y'all, we'll jump into this first clip of Sophia Stewart. Check this out.
It's a script in a book. The Terminator is the prequels to, or the beginning of The Matrix. Sarah Connor is actually Neo's mother. So JC, John Connor's Jesus Christ, grows up to be Neo, one and the same in The Matrix. The Matrix is in the future. The Terminator is the past. It's time travel, past, present, and future time travel. It's the second coming of the Christ, the evolutions of consciousness, man versus the machine. So the machines, the Terminator machines, hear that a child is going to be born that's going to terminate them in the future when they oppress man. Because, see, it's a man versus the machine. It's God's children versus man's children, which was technology. So the Terminator has to time travel to the past because they know it's Sarah Connor, and they have to kill her, terminate her, so she won't have the baby. And Kyle Reese, he comes from the future to protect her, and he inadvertently gets her pregnant. And he has to go back to the future. And so it's the Immaculate Conception, because now she's pregnant and she fell in love with a man, but did it really happen? Did he exist? And then this child, when you see the three Terminators, the boy, and then the man child, subconsciously, he doesn't know why the Terminator is trying to kill him until he's hidden out in the city, in the Matrix, the future. When he reaches 30 years of age, the rebellion, reloaded, revolution starts. And the rebels come and they find him because they've been watching him all along. That's what the Guardians and the Sentinels are all about. And so they wake him up to his purpose. They take him to Morpheus to train him to fight the machines. They take him to the Oracle because of the prophecy. So this is the whole epic story. It's an epic.
Now, when I first heard that clip, I was just like, wow, because I've never thought of it that way. I've actually never heard anyone say the Terminators are actually the prequel film to The Matrix, and Sarah Connor is actually Neo's mom. She said the movies are time travel, past, present, and future. It really makes sense now when you think about it, like the second coming of Christ with Neo, John Connor, JC, just how she was connecting the dots. I've never heard anyone explain it that way. When I was really thinking about it, you know, if this is really her work, I don't think anyone can actually explain the movies that way. When, you know, I first heard her start to explain everything, I was like, it makes sense. Because the person who had the original thoughts for the film, the original groundwork, it makes sense that she is able to explain it in a way that we've never heard. And she's been telling this story for a very long time. And, you know, it's pretty obvious Hollywood basically just kicked her out of the entire picture. And these Wachowski brothers or sisters or whatever they are, because I think they are trans, are the ones who is actually credited for the Matrix film. I'm not going to even talk too much because this is just one of those videos where I really want her to do the explaining because I can't do it the way that she can, especially about those movies. So we're going to jump into the next clip from a different channel that recently interviewed her, and she talks more about, you know, the Hollywood side and how they actually, you know, took her work. And she goes in a little bit about today's current AI, artificial intelligence, as well. And we'll get a little bit more into that side. So with that being said, y'all, check this out.
That's not correct what you're saying. Let me correct you so people won't be mimicking rumors, because a lot of people are just reading stuff off of the internet. But if you really want to know the facts about me, you need to go to the archives and read the real media archives, what they've written about me, because they have to put the truth in these this media documents and stuff. It documents facts. The courts documents facts. They did not take my copyrighted book or my copyrighted script. What they did was a licensing deal without paying for it. They adapted my Third Eye, Matrix, and Terminator book and with the script with the same name into these movies and films that you guys are enjoying. And when they could not duplicate or get any more, what I would say, eclipse, because only the creator can eclipse the work and carry on. If Picasso was here now, you would be getting more Picassos. But all anybody can do now is mimic and copy off of Picasso's work. But they can't eclipse it because they're not the creator of the work. I was looking for George Lucas at the time. While I was at USC, I skipped high school. I'm a prodigy. Prodigies, we crack codes. We're polymaths. Geniuses are one aspect of knowledge, but the prodigies are like 12-year-old girl. She's got a college degree, and she go work for NASA, but she's 12 years old. So we prodigies, we don't need school. I was reading and writing prolifically at 3 years old. or with fully conscious. In fact, I scared my grandmother. She had made something for me to eat because there was a very bad electrical storm and the lights had blackened out. Everybody was in a blackout and she was worried about me eating. And so she fixed something. And now I'm like 3 or 4 years old, not in school yet. And I walk up to her because I remember it if it was yesterday. And I said, "What did you feed me?" And she said, "What?" I said, "What did you feed me? Because I've never tasted that taste before." And she said, "That's impossible for you to even ask me that." I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "You were only a baby. You were just this little baby on the bed." But I didn't even know that because I didn't even feel that I even had a body. I saw the storms. I can see it now, like remote reviewing. She was pacing and all nervous and scared, but I didn't have any idea that I was just a baby, not even walking, just a baby laying there. Do you see how fully conscious I am and not knowing I even had a body? So it's always been that way with my knowledge. And I think it comes from my Cherokee side because my grandmother was a shaman and I'm a shaman. So the knowledge that I'm giving in the Matrix and Terminator, no one had ever experienced that knowledge before. It's 100 years ahead. A Terminator, artificial intelligence, looking like us, wrapped in flesh, killed but cannot be killed. Before I brought in this concept that changed the whole paradigm of the world, everybody was doing H.G. Wells, and H.G. Wells, science fiction writer, also a prodigy. He had the old metal clankety clank, these metal robots that you saw in Star Wars, Star Trek, Lost in Space. They were all still creating all these metal robots. I saw Star Wars when I was a little kid in Harlem at the Apollo Theater because we used to go to the Apollo every weekend to see all the great acts and stuff. The Sutton brothers owned it at that time. And so they made money during the day and the night. In the daytime, it was like a movie theater. And this is 1977, a little kid, I see Star Wars. And I interpreted Star Wars as a biblical movie or franchise called Star Wars. Look at Star Wars, the wars in heaven. And look, Darth Vader, the devil, how he fell from the light side to the dark side. George Lucas was talking about these concepts. Then what I saw for my science fiction franchise was the second coming of the Christ, the evolutions of consciousness, man versus the machine. But past, present, and future, time travel. No one had ever introduced that in a movie the way I introduced it. Where in the future, the machines are fighting the rebels. They hear the oracle's prophecy that a baby is going to be born that's going to take them out, destroy them. And they're trying to enslave mankind because now the AI have elevated consciously. They're like us, but they're ruthless. But also Kyle Reese, one of the rebels, hear the same oracle's prophecy. He's going to time travel to save Sarah Connor because they know Sarah Connor is destined to have the baby JC, Jesus Christ, John Connor, who grows up to be Neo, one and the same in the Matrix. Neo is an anagram for the one. John the Revelator was the only one to call Jesus the one. Neoone. This is why when you see the references to Neo, and when the rebels come up and say, "You're my personal savior," then all the biblical references in the movies, Terminator and Matrix, Terminator End Time Revelations, because that's where the prophecy is that the Christ conscious would come back again, born of a woman. Not the first coming, but the second coming in the future. This is why it impacts the whole world. Because here's the story again, but from Revelations. All I'm here is just to educate you on Matrix and Terminator. This is why you will never see James Cameron, Gail Ann Hurd, Andy and Larry Wachowski's, none of them doing any interviews because it will be a deposition used against them to prosecute them. And they can't answer the questions.
I was about to say, I don't think they could break it down like this. I don't think they could break it down like
They
this.
don't even know what the work is. They didn't even know what the word matrix was. They tried to copyright and trademark the word matrix, Now, I got a trademark on The Matrix. The movie is called The Matrix. It's called The Terminator. I got copyrights, trademarks on that terminology. But they thought that the word matrix was phenomenal, and they thought that they could copyright and trademark. It's a generic. The word matrix and cola. Let me give you an example. The word cola or matrix, generics, you can't trademark or copyright. They don't belong to anyone. They belong to everyone, because you might want to do Coca-Cola. You might want to do Pepsi Cola, Shasta Cola. Do you understand what I'm talking about? RC Cola. That's different people with different formulas. But the word cola, somebody else, you might want to come out with John Cola. You see what I'm talking about? But people who still don't understand any of that.
Any warnings about AI?
I'm going to tell you something. As soon as I came out with the Matrix and Terminator, you guys actually became of the sentiments of the AI, what it can do and where it can go in the future. You guys are just now at the tip of the iceberg. You guys haven't gotten into the ones that is getting ready to oppress and kill you guys. Y'all haven't gotten there yet. What they're doing now, look on television, look on the internet, look in the computers, everywhere. They're just doing AI that acts and look like a living being. Over there in the Saudi countries, they got the AI. Her name is Sophia. Look, they named her after me. They didn't name her Andy and Larry Wachowski. They didn't name her Gail Ed Hurd or James Cameron, any of them. They know the truth. You can't insult them. You're not going to bring no lies to these people. They got billions and trillions of dollars. They know what's going on. Look at her. She looks like a living being, like the Terminator that I created. She's talking. They made her a citizen, and they give her money and all that. Now, you see, they got ones that look like dogs, and they got ones that do packing. They got the drones and the clones, like I talked about, the drone cars, the drones flying machines and everything. And look at the airplanes now. They're nothing but drones. They can actually fly themselves, they can land themselves. This is the tip of the iceberg. Now, when I went deeper, I said they were going to make these test tube babies, petri dish babies, artificial inseminated babies, gender benders, gender manipulated babies. Do you see what I'm talking about? Clones and drones. But look at the clones. They're nothing but machines, but they look just like us. Terminator. They look just like us. Operated by a spirit, but don't have a seed or soul. The soul is a seed. God's children are three-dimensional beings. What is the 3D? Blood, water, and spirit. That's the period of a woman. Blood, water, spirit. Now, the physical body. 9 months or 36 weeks, transportation, physical body. Third body, the seed or the soul that attaches to this body at the 12th week. So if you have an abortion at the 12th week, you're killing a living soul. All doctors know this, but you don't know this. Now, look, if you have an abortion from 1 to 11th month, you're bringing down the period. That's why they give you a pill. That's why they do. It's nothing but blood, water, and spirit. You can't kill a spirit. Do you see what I'm talking about?
For sure.
So all you're going to do is bring down the blood and the water. Look, blood, water, and spirit, that's what's inside the womb until the soul attaches at 12 weeks. Nobody teaches you that because they want to keep you in ignorance. They keep you in ignorance. They keep you fighting and arguing and all this.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? You need to learn. You need to read. What did God says? My people perish because of a lack of knowledge.
She is completely right. Our people do perish because of a lack of knowledge and being completely ignorant, or just choosing to not pay attention to the things that are going on around you. Even lately in the news, well, I won't say, the general media, but if you keep up with certain things, they're talking about reaching the singularity in AI in the upcoming future. Then you get like bits of, a lot of scientists and, people in high places in different fields. They don't believe we're going to reach the singularity quite yet. But then you got Elon Musk saying, yeah, we're going to reach it. And what that basically means is that AI will be completely smarter than humans. They will be able to teach themselves, code themselves, so on and so on. Completely smarter than humans. You couldn't combine 1,000 humans to be smarter than AI once it actually reaches that point. And a lot of people seem to believe we are very close. But no matter how close we are, they will never tell us completely how far they are along in new technology and AI advancement. They will never tell us. So that's something to always be mindful of and to think about where we're heading in our current society. Was interesting that she talked about, and this is something I've come across because I've been doing research and videos for so long. Something I probably never would have came across, but we've talked about the name Sophia and what it means in Greek a while back on this channel. I remember when I first heard it, it was maybe 2-3 years ago. I was doing some research on a video, and I came across a video of a random guy like explaining what Sophia was, explaining, just a bunch of stuff I'd never heard before. So I decided to go look it up one day. We know it comes from Gnostic teachings. When she was talking about like the Saudi countries and stuff naming their AI Sophia, they named it after her. Obviously, they didn't quite name it after her, but it comes from Gnosticism. And if y'all remember me talking about this before, basically in Gnosticism, the fall didn't occur through Adam and Eve. This is what they believe. It happened before the world's creation through a mistake made by a heavenly being called Sophia, whose name is Greek for wisdom. The story of Sophia's fall, which was part of the Gnostic creation myth, is told slightly different in the many Gnostic texts that discuss it, but the various versions of the tale all share the basics in common. Sophia was one of the eons, which was a divine entity who were descended from God the Father and who were roughly equivalent to angels. One of the many eons, Sophia was the last to arise from God. Like the other ones, Sophia was the child of a male-female pair that had come before her, who had given birth with the Father's blessing. Sophia and the rest of the eons form the pleroma, which is Gnostic for heaven. Sophia wanted to have a child too, but she went about it in the wrong way. She conceived without the involvement of her male partner or the approval of the Father. Her child was the demiurge, a misshapen, belligerent creature that was utterly unlike the other heavenly beings. Sophia immediately realized her horrible mistake and cast her child out of the pleroma, which is basically heaven in, Gnostic teachings. The demiurge, now alone, believed that he was the only being who had ever existed and created the material world out of his ignorance, foolishness, and malevolence, trapping sparks of divinity within Adam and Eve along the way. Wild, creation story, right? But it says because of her fall and its dire consequences, Sophia became a flawed being. Her deficiency rendered her unable to remain in the perfect fullness of heaven. So she was placed just outside of heaven in a realm above that of her malevolent son. In anguish, Sophia repented, and the Father agreed to take her back to heaven once what had become lacking in her was restored to its natural fullness. You have to think about it. This is what they choose to name their AI. So in a way, this is just like another way of summoning these entities, summoning these deities through AI, through the internet. We know it's all demonic. We know who dwells in the internet. We know who dwells in AI. We know they have to make contact with these demonic entities, with these demons in order to even be able to produce all of this stuff. Once AI becomes smarter than a human, it's a deity. It's a demonic presence. It's not, I don't even know. I don't even know what to call it. You can't even call it artificial intelligence. It's a deity. It's not human. If it can become smarter than a human, if it can become smarter than who created it, then it's no longer a product of humanity. It's now become a product of the spirit world. It's now become a product of darkness. That is exactly what the singularity will be. It will be darkness, and it will be nothing good for humanity. With that being said, y'all, we'll go ahead and cut this video here. If y'all want to get, a part 2 going, or, jump into all of this AI stuff a little bit more, y'all let me know, man. Hopefully y'all stayed all the way through this one. I definitely wanted to read this last part to y'all and just, top it all off, man. So let me know what y'all think about this video in the comments. And with that being said, it's Black Balloon, and I'm gonna see y'all soon. I'm out.